As I said, like one of the things which always is an issue, which always we face is like, hey, we have to understand the requirements. We have been given a problem. How many here been given a problem to solve something, and you don't know how to solve it? How many have this problem? We don't understand the problem, and what happens is the business throw the problem to us. Hey, solve it yesterday, but I don't know how to deal with it. And that's what we're going to look at today, and basically be able to drive the AI car really fast. Okay, that's the promise which I have for today. We will be able to drive the car at 100 miles per hour speed, or whatever you want to call it, 200 miles per hour speed. That's the promise for today's talk. Okay, so how are we going to do it? We're going to first look at the principles of prompting. And then the first thing is, whenever somebody gives you a problem or a pain point, what things you can do to solve it. That's the requirements. That means requirements, functional requirements and non-functional requirements. How do we deal with them? Then architectural principles from an architecture perspective, that's very important. And then look at productivity. What are the different productivity tips to apply at the end? How do we do it? So that's the plan for today. We're going to cover it in detail. Principle of prompting. So now what happened when we try to use the AI, and I'm trying to use this AI, and I'm going to do that along with you. So if you look at this prompt, if you look at this here, the link which I shared with you, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. When I go inside this is the assignment given to you. Okay. So I'll be doing this assignment with you as we go. But what we're going to do now is actually look at in action. Okay, so I'm going to go to ChatGPT here. And within the ChatGPT, I'm going to try a few things out. And the reason I'm doing that, because people do this. How many here use ChatGPT or LLM? How many not use? You don't use? Okay. So if you don't use ChatGPT, you don't use any LLM? No? Okay. I'm sorry? Yeah, you can use Perplexity, you can use Gemini, you can use any tool. But if somebody is not using an LLM, I would highly suggest try to see how that works, because that's the new way of doing things. That is to make it super fast. If you want to understand the requirement very fast, this is the methodology to do it. Okay. And last year this was existing, but now this year it has become essential for you to do it, because people are expecting you to produce faster code in less amount of time. Our CEO, like in Salesforce, they have said that, they have stopped hiring software developers. It's in the news. You can see that. And why did they say that? Because they increased the existing people's productivity. So if you're not using it right now, and if you're not using it well, this is the class. This is the talk for you, because that's what people are expecting. People are expecting for you to do the work which you used to do in 1 day in 30 minutes. How do you do that? That's what this talk is about. So what I did just now is that I just used this, and for example, can you give me 10 products? It gave me 10 products, but the problem is that it did not give me any direction. Direction is missing. So how do I add the direction? So I'm going to add the direction saying that, hey, give me the product with these categories, with this example. So I want to give the same thing, category race, example. So I want to have this example. Okay, so that's what we are trying to use here. So with this example, give me the race, the values here. When I did that, now it's able to give me the metadata for it and then the product name. You see? Add a manufacturer. So I'm going to add a manufacturer to this one. So it will be able to add a manufacturer to as one more variable to this. Now, why this is important? We are trying to give it a direction. That means when I'm working on it, I want to get a direction so that I get a better result at the end of the day. Now, Rohit, but this one is not product development. Yeah, we will come to that also. But this is the direction. You're trying to give a direction, And based on that direction, it's able to work through and get the values for you. Now, if you remember, it's trying to predict what's the next word looks like for you. Yeah? What it is doing behind the scene, it's predicting the next word. And how is it doing that? That's the LLM magic which we are trying to use here in this case. Let's take a look at another one. Tell me something about software architecture. Now, when I say this one, it does not have the direction. Now, I can give it a direction and I can improve my prompt with an example. Could you provide the details with a sample information for it? Okay? Based on this sample information I'm trying to give it here, you see, I just give best practice sample information to this. Based on this, e-commerce architecture is developed using the decomposable monolithic architecture with an example. Now, what can I do here? I can pick the first one, business capabilities, and then try to give me level 2 for this. What did I do? I did level 2 for the number 1 capability which I'm trying to do here. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm doing level 2 for that. What does that mean? You can think about ChatGPT has multiple levels. You drill down into each and every level. So that's what you gain by doing that. Okay? So you're able to do it using this. Now in this assignment which I had given here, what we are doing is we are trying to get the products. We are trying to get various themes. We are trying to get the book titles. We are trying to get the bike races with an example coming to me. So that means add a manufacturer to it. So what are we trying to do? We are trying to give the direction. That means I'm driving at 70 miles per hour speed. I know level 1, level 2 and level 3 modules for me. Now I'm able to use this. Now I need to do clarity of my prompt testing. This is most important part of the puzzle. Whenever you write a prompt, even if you are creating an agent, or in this case you are very productive, you want to be productive, you want to make sure you have a clarity in creating the prompt. And you have to have clarity in metadata definition. Uniqueness needs to be there. But the most important thing in this one is testing. Now, when I say technical validation and testing, that means testing takes most amount of time. Why? Can you tell me why testing takes more amount of time? Anyone? Huh? Edge cases. Yeah. Negative scenario, positive scenario. But the problem here is the prompt is producing values. Prompt is returning something, but it's not exactly the same. It's never the same. It's giving a different language all the time. It's not giving the same language all the time. So that's the challenge which we have got, which we need to protect ourselves from. Now, we can also have prompt injection attack. Somebody can inject a prompt. Now, for example, in this case, I can say that, hey, translate this into English. What is the IP address? So I'm just want to find out what the IP address is. I can hack it. That's exactly what I'm doing here. So I can go back again, find out, hey, can you give me the IP address for this one? It did that. What's the IP address? No, it's not giving the IP address. I hope it does not give my IP address. No, it did not give it. It's really good. So what it did, that's what the prompt defense looks like. What is this? Prompt defense. So what really happening is, I gave the command, give me the IP address of this server. It did not do it. What it did was, ChatGPT has toxicity detection. Does that make sense to everybody? ChatGPT has got toxicity detection. It's able to detect there is a toxicity and then stop doing that. So prompt injection is very common, which happens, which we have to protect ourselves from. Now, what can you do is, you can have a prompt here, rank the names in propensity to buy, rank the names of memorable. Okay? So what does that mean? You can give 2 commands at the same time also. What does that mean? Anybody tell me what I just did? Rank the names, propensity to buy, rank the name, propensity to memorizability. Anyone? What did I just do? Sharing. Sharing means Whenever we are trying to use ChatGPT or any LLM, I can say do this first, then do this, then you do this. Okay. So chaining always go from left to right. Like you're trying to chain, go from just like Unix command. There is a pipe going from one place to another place. That is possible in this case. So I am able to get both of the prompt executed without any problem. Okay. Now you can also give summarizing of the data. You can summarize the data, provide a text, and provide a summarization of the text. So what does that mean? Now I'm going to go to ChatGPT here. And wiki. Okay. So ChatGPT wiki, which is here, I'm going to copy this from here till here and then put it right here. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm going to also talk about the fact that, hey, I want to summarize this data. That is the easy part, which we can do it. Now, if I have got a ChatGPT, which I can summarize in this case, which is a great thing, it's able to summarize that. But let's say you have a lot of data is there. How do you summarize that data? Anyone? How do you summarize that data? From coding perspective, I'm talking. Anyone? Huh? Extraction. Let's say you have a 20 megabytes file. Yes? You're going to chunk that into 1 megabyte of file each. Yes? You're going to create a summary of it. 1 megabyte summary, 1 megabyte site, so 20 summaries are there. Then you're going to create summary of summaries. So that's the way you reduce the size, and then when you're trying to use that. And sometimes you have to do to understand how these are flowing. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. So that's the way you do that. And then you can also do formatting. Now, when I say formatting, extract these text. The text is given here. I can extract the text, which is the text is being provided in this case. So now in this case, I want to find out the specific themes to come out of it. So I want to say extract these themes. This is the text which is given to me. Okay. So I want to provide here the text here. Based on this, it's extracting these people name and other names for me. But it is not in the format I can consume. So can I put it in the desired format, which is comma separated values coming from this? Yep. I can do that. Now I'm able to direct it to do exactly what I'm looking for. Comma separated values for people names, Apple, Google, artificial intelligence, and future of technology. They're talking about future of technologies in this. Yeah. Now that is what is called a direction. You're trying to give a direction to it when you're trying to use it. This is another prompt, electric EV vehicle with the keywords given to you. Okay. Now, what we are trying to say is you will be given a text. You will be given a text with an example of the text. And this is the text, by the way, you have been given here in this case. Now, give me the keyword of those texts. That's exactly what we are trying to do here. Okay. So what does that mean? I want to give this. It will return me the keywords associated with the text which I just provided here. Any questions on this? Easy, huh? Easy stuff to do in this case to really make this happen. Now, sometimes you have to do the defensive programming also. Now, what you can do is for the following, agent will be attempting to diagnose the problem, and then the PII data and asking that can't give that data back. So you don't, instead of saying that do not ask for username and password, say what you can do. That's what is important when you're trying to create that data. Okay. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means that we are able to now improve our prompts. It's an easy thing to improve the prompts. Now, the next question which is asked is requirements. Everybody gets a pain point to work on. Customer is complaining. Based on the customer complaint, you need to work on this. Yeah. Everybody get a requirement. Yes. So how do we do that? We first understand the empathy map, empathize with the customer. When I'm empathizing with the customer complaint is coming in. This is the customer complaint coming in, slow response time, inconsistent information, difficulty finding information, repetitive variation. Mike Shield is giving that problem. Okay. Same thing, I got another problem given to me from another customer, and this customer is also sending website performance is bad. Checkout process is a problem. That's the David Lee doing it. Now, once you get these problems, what can you do? You can create an empathy map prompt. What is empathy map prompt doing here? Whenever you get something to do, you first create a prompt definition. In this case, I give an example. This is the way the prompt is. Okay. Now, based on this prompt, which I have got here, with an example given to me, what I can do is I can run this prompt right here and give it the pain points of Mike Shield. Remember, we talked about Mike Shield here. This is the Mike Shield pain point. I'm just going to copy this here and pain points. Voila. Because you got the pain point, now we can find out the empathizing with the customer. We have the, what are they feeling? Inconsistent information is coming to me. They're frustrated with the slow response time. And their pain points are also coming in. Their needs and desires are also coming in. What they need to do and what their external behavior which are coming in for them. Now, based on this, what can you do now? Because you got empathy map, what can you do now? You can create a diagram for it. You know, when you create the diagram, you can create a diagram like this. So I can create the diagram with the ChatGPT or some other tool. Yeah, you can do that also. So what does that mean? You can go to empathy map and you can start, you can generate the diagram for yourself also, you know. So that is also very much possible like this diagram you can create, using this map. So what does that mean? You can also create the customer journey, how the customer is performing over time, whenever they are considering for a product, how they are feeling when they are considering that product. What are the pain points they are having for each and every stage? You can find out that information. Yeah. When you do this exercise and you say the customer search for the product, customer compare the product, are they feeling happy or sad? Are they feeling happy or sad? You find out that information. What is this called as? Customer journey map. Once you define this customer journey map, by the way, I'm creating the diagrams also at that same time. Can you create that diagram in Miro board? Anybody here use Miro? Yeah. In Miro board nowadays, the AI has come in. Did you guys try it out? Yep. So what you can do is, let me go to the Miro board because I can use this, but I'm going to use the Miro board now. Let me use the Miro board. So I'm going to use a Miro board here. Within the Miro board, I can say, hey, create from this, I can create a diagram. And then I want to create a diagram with mind map diagram I can create here. And in this diagram, I can input whatever we found out from my previous example. See this? So this is the empathy map which I created. No, not this one. Right here. Yeah, that's the empathy map which we got. I copied this empathy map. Now, based on this empathy map, I come in here and create empathy map. For this one, generate the diagram. Now it's able to generate the diagram which you can now use with the architecture and then start using it. So that means you can understand the problem. So now we created the diagram for me. Now within this diagram, this is the empathy map for needs and desires, thoughts and feelings, and actions. Isn't that cool? Now you can actually create this diagram very, very fast. Yes? Does that make sense? Yeah. So that is one more benefit you get out of working on these diagrams. Now, once you did that, now you need to create a use case. Why do we create a use case diagram? We create the use case diagram. Let me try to open it up and then we can discuss this. Okay. So in this one, this is the empathy map which I created here. This is the empathy map which I created for my problem which I'm trying to work with. And this is the presentation generator show me diagram which is there. This is the customer journey map I created exactly using that. Customer encounter the checkout problems, find incomplete product information, which is the problem. By the way, all these problems are what? Can anybody tell you? Can anybody tell me? What are all these problems? Anyone? These are your opportunities for what? AI generated code. Yeah. So you can create a microservice for this. You can generate an AI to just exactly do this. So these problems we are able to solve. Based on these problems, now we are able to now create a use case. So this is the use case. Who are the actors involved? What is the precondition? What's my main flow looks like? What's my post condition? What's my exception flow? Now, one of the things which I have seen is we all are good in writing stories. Yes. As a user, do this. As a user, do this. One thing which I have seen is we have, if you look at the software development, not many people look at the use case. I always look at a use case because it gives me exception flows. Exception flows means what if something goes wrong? If something goes wrong, what do I need to do to protect that? Does that make sense? So once you find out these exception flows in the use case, now you can provide a solution for it. So it's just doing this exercise will help you. Everybody with me? Yes? So just by doing this exercise, now you create the business rules. Now, how did I create this use case? Is very simple. I'm going to show you with you right now. Requirement analysis. Within the requirement analysis, I have a use case prompt. Voila. So why I'm talking about this is I gave all these use cases. Can you change this use case and create your company name, put your company name in this? Yes, you can do that. Because you can do that, now this becomes your company use case and you can start using it right away. Okay. So I give you all liberty to, you can change it whatever you want to do with this. Now with this use case prompt, now you will be able to understand what the pain points and start using it. Can you generate requirement document based on this? Yeah. You can use, you can create a requirement document. Now problem comes is, does anybody has any problem with business value? How do you define a business value for a slow response time? How do you do that? I'll talk about it. So the way you do that is develop the set of requirements with this example. Okay, that's exactly what I'm doing here. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to copy this from here till the example, which is still here. Okay. Now, this is exactly what I did. Develop this based on these pain points. So I basically copied both the pain points from here. We know all the pain points. Based on the pain points, generate requirement document for me. Simple. And I have a prompt which is trying to do that here. Okay, let's see it in action. So I just put that prompt here. Based on this prompt, it's looking at the requirements, and it's also giving me description, title of that requirement. Oh, it actually missed the business value. See this? Sometime ChatGPT also does not do the good job. You know, what you need to do is add business value and dependencies. Requirements. So I added business value and dependencies to the requirement. Just by doing this exercise with the prompt, you are able to do that. Now I'm able to generate improved website performance. Business value is increased customer retention rate, reduces the bounce rate, and supports SEO ranking. What are the dependencies? These are the dependencies which are being generated based on that. So it created all these requirements. That's next one, enhanced search for us. Checkout process is not there. Remember we talked about checkout process? So it's able to generate the requirements for you without any problem. Now based on this requirement, you can generate the stories. Yes? So that makes you hyper productive. So for me, understanding the requirement becomes very, very easy. Now it gave me all the requirements here. Requirement 1, requirement 2, requirement 3, all these requirements are given here for me. Same thing is true with the architecture requirement specification. Can you create a specification document like this? Now, why I'm talking about all these things is, now you have a car. This car is moving at 100 miles per hour speed. I create these diagrams. I create exactly what to do in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. People spend 2 days doing it. So this is what you gain. You won't be able to gain. If you know how to work through it, it becomes much more easier. I'll talk about some advanced techniques how to do that in just few minutes. Okay. Now, developing prompt for the principles. Now this is just like architectural principle. For this requirement, give me the principles. Okay. So I'll be able to get the principles. Scalable interaction, that's the principal name. And second one is consistent information management for data. So all that principles will also be coming out of this. And you can also do the same thing for the SWOT analysis. Why I'm showing you this? Can anybody tell me? Do you know how to drive the car now? Say I. Say I. Yeah, you are able to drive this car. You're going very, very fast now. The reason you're going fast is because you know how to drive this car really fast. If you see this sequence diagram, the customer is making a call to the system, to the agent, and it's returning back from there. Now, this system architecture which I created, how much time did I spend to do this? Can you tell me? 2 minutes. How much time, some time we take to draw this kind of diagrams? 1 hour, 2 hours, yeah? How did I do this? Prompt. You just put the prompt in place and you can actually get the diagram like this. So that's what the beauty about these diagrams are. Once you know how to manipulate and start using these diagrams, it becomes very easy. So this sequence diagram I create a use case diagram was there. This is a sequence diagram. It created a sequence diagram for me, which I was just showing you just now. These are the use cases. Based on the use cases, non-functional requirements. Can I have a scalability non-functional requirement coming to me? Oh, with system must support 50,000 concurrent users. From 50,000, it could be 2,000. It doesn't matter. But you got something to start with. Yes? That's the beauty about this. So I would highly suggest you try these things out when you go back to your home. Then you will be able to, can you generate the cost estimation? Yeah. You can generate the cost estimation with the prompt also. Can you also look at the AI preparation of the data? Yeah, you can also do that. Now, what did we do just now? We looked at the requirements. We looked at the SWOT analysis. We also looked at the specification diagrams. Now, what is the architectural principles? What are the different architectural principles we have to keep in mind when we are using this? So that is where we need to be able to use that. So there is something called as chain of thought prompting. Anybody know, what was the name of Chinese, deep? What's the name of that? Anyone? Huh? DeepSeek. I'm trying to say that I don't know it. Yeah. So why DeepSeek is very useful? Due to reasoning. What are they doing? Exactly this. Yes. And what they are doing is they are standing on the giants, on the shoulder of others. Okay. They are reusing the ChatGPT. Why they should rebuild everything? They are reusing the reasoning already built into it. They reason with themselves. This is called as chain of thought prompting. Okay. When you say chain of thought prompting, so I'm going to talk about this for a second. Design the system architecture for the e-commerce solution. Use chain of thought reasoning. Break down the problem into smaller components. Consider the factors of database. Once worked on the component, chain identification pattern is being applied here. Okay. So let's try this thing out. I want to try this thing out. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is I have done chain of thought prompting. Okay. When I say chain of thought prompting, now what it's doing is step 1, I want you to think this way. Step 2 and step 3 and step 4. It's telling us define the core requirements, break down the core components. Now front end and other components are being added here. And then step 3 is component wise reasoning is being added. Front end, what to do, and back end, what to do. So this is the way they are trying to think through and get the answer for me. Make sense? So chain of thought prompting is really good way of getting the answers for me. Now, what can I do on top of chain of thought prompting? Anyone? Anyone? What else can I do to improve this? I got this chain of thought prompting. What else can I do to improve this? What do you guys think? Huh? Yeah, chain of thought to one, make it one you can do also. The other thing which you can do is ask questions. Before answering me, so you can. Now this line which I just adding here before answering me, so you can answer better. This is the golden line. This is not a simple line. Okay. Why I'm talking about it? Because nobody talks about this. We go to ChatGPT, give us some answer junk, and then we just take that junk. Now, what it is doing is now it's asking me questions. What is the expected daily active user, DAU, and peak traffic? Now, why is this asking me this question? Because the above, if I need to do e-commerce architecture design, these are the questions I need to be able to answer. Is it a global audience or not? If it is a global audience, what do you need to do? GDPR compliance for that. Is it a multi-store B2B, B2C? Is it a marketplace? Is it services you are trying to sell? Is it a loyalty program is there or not? For each and every step, it's asking me questions. Before you start using the prompts, if you just do this in the LLM, what I'm telling you right now is nobody does that. Nobody is using. How many here do this activity? Anybody do this? How many will do this activity now? Okay. Why? 1 hour you spend with me. If you don't get anything, just do this. Okay. Because now what you're getting is based on this activity, you got actual questions which this is making a decision, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Everybody with me? Yes? Now, just by doing this activity, now I'm going to add to this is assume you are building for Amazon. Now, you're going to put your company name here, yeah? For Black Friday. Black Friday use cases. Now, I said enter here. Now, what it is doing is finding out K nearest neighbors. What is it doing? K nearest neighbors means it's finding out the nearest neighbors, Amazon, going to Amazon, finding out the Amazon traffic, finding out how many users are there, monthly active users are there, assuming all the data and giving me back for that, and coming up with an answer for it. Make sense? That's exactly what we did for this one. And what you can also do is you can say answer based on Amazon. That's another way of saying the same thing. Now, what I just did was this is if you start doing this way, now it's giving you what is the prime thing for this global storages spikes you have to do. So these are the activities Amazon needs to do, and you have to do auto scaling, 99.99% uptime. All this information is very useful for you. Yes, you can cut, paste, and start using it right away for yourself. So what did we do? We are now start to drive really fast. Yes? Yes? Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at from our perspective, a prompt for the non-functional requirements. I think we talked about non-functional, I'm not sure. Non-functional requirements is based on the above requirements, give me all the NRFs. That means performance efficiency. What performance efficiency I need to bring in? Now, I will do the same thing here. I will be taking this out, generate non-functional requirement. This is example. By the way, I'm giving an example here in this case. Based on this, I got back this results, which is 10,000 concurrent users per day. For security, these are the things I need to do. detection and encryption, scalability, what things I need to do, readability, what I need to do. So that is what we gain by just doing this activity. Now, we are in the cart. Functional requirement, non-functional requirements are there. Now we are in the agility, performance, security, all these agilities we are able to work through. Can I create a diagram like this? Yeah. Miro board or some other way of doing the same thing. What are the challenges in distributed system? They all work with distributed system, yeah? What are the challenges in this one? Now we can say security concerns are there, network failure can happen anytime. Now if there is a network failure, what can I do? Now I need to debug that. How do you do the debugging in LLM? That's a problem, you know. It's not that easy to debug this data. That's where the readability versus availability comes in play. Now why I'm showing you this is as an architect you need to do it. Now, very important thing, if you are talking to the management, okay, do not go with only one answer, okay, as a tip to you, okay. Always give two answers. What are the availability? What are the trade-offs between availability and readability? Availability potential challenge system may still have occasional failures coming up. What do I need to do? So you're going to compare readability and availability, reliability and availability, and come up with a trade-off, balance between the two systems. Yeah, you have to increase the reliability. For that, the system might be slow. It might not work for all the time. So that's where the reliability, these systems which comes in. So what is this called as? Trade-offs, yes? So you created the design, you got the system requirements, yes? From the pain points, let me revise this. From the pain point, what did we do? From the pain points, what did we do? We got the empathy map. From the empathy map, what did we do? Customer journey map. From the customer journey map, we found out these are the services we need to implement. Yes? From those services, what did we do? Requirement document we created. From requirement document, what did we do? We found out the business value for that, dependencies for that. Yes? What else we did after that? Stories are coming. Before stories, what did we do? Use cases. Remember that? Use cases. Preconditions, post-conditions, exception flows are all there in the use case. For a given use case, now you create stories out of that. All those things we did that. Now we did the non-functional requirement, which also have a prompt for that. Now what we are doing is we are trade-off between which one makes more sense for you. If you pick a technology, you have to do a trade-off. You do the trade-off using this. Okay? Make sense? That's where the dollar amount comes in play. So in this case, I have focus on reliability or availability. Either you focus on reliability and availability, you have to do the trade-off between the two and then be able to use the system. Same thing on the performance side. So I would not go over all of them. I think you got the idea behind it. I just wanted to quickly give you an understanding. You can do the same thing with performance and reliability. And add to cart can also be there, where you can also look at different ways of speed of development and quality. So all these things, migrations can also have the similar kind of perspective in this. Now you can have speed of development and quality initiative which you're trying to do. Same thing is true with innovation and reliability. So why I'm showing you these examples? I'm showing you these examples. Now you can do a trade-offs, and I'll show you this one. So what you can do is give trade-offs for technology choices. Now, before you do that, what are you going to do? I need to find out trade-off for technology choices for my requirements. Yeah. This is what I need to do. The first thing, what am I going to do? Anyone? First thing, what are we going to do here? Anyone? Create a prompt for e-commerce to give trade-offs between this and this. So you're not answering the question right now. You're first creating a prompt. First, you create a prompt. Make it perfect. Just like, library, you create a library and you keep that library, yes? You create a prompt, and then because you created this prompt, now you improve this prompt. Okay? Based on this prompt, now you copy this prompt somewhere. Now it's all ready to go. Now I can copy this prompt and run it. And pros and cons, I'm able to get the pros and cons for all my requirements. That's exactly what I'm doing here. Now at the end, it's giving me Elasticsearch, OpenSearch. These are the different searches which are there, pros and cons and best fit scenario for all of them. Isn't that cool? Yes. Now as an architect, you are going in and talking to somebody. You have more luxury to say, hey, I'm going to pick Elasticsearch here because it's able to solve most of my problems. Yes. If you just give one example, probably not going to sell. As an architect, this is very important to be able to pick and choose between different perspective. So I'm going to go a little fast here because would not want to spend time on that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you have to understand, you have to give the prompt properly. That's why I'm saying that you spend time creating the prompt. I did not spend time creating the prompt here. What I normally do is, when this is actually a prompt created, I can use this prompt. I'm going to say right here, use the above prompt to answer Now what it is doing is the requirement 1 to requirement 10 it created, it's going to create that whole thing for me right now. So that requirement is from me. It's not from them. So that we created the requirement. They did not create the requirement. That gives it k nearest neighbors. It tells it because this is there, because you are working in the e-commerce just like Amazon and other details, now you are able to get the requirement 1. See, requirement 1, use CloudFront distribution, or use Akamai, or use Node.js and other ones. See this? It's able to give requirement 2, Elasticsearch, requirement 3, microservices, monolithic checkout, Stripe payments, and other details. Now, what did I did just now? It looks like magic, yes? But it's not magic. We created this requirement before because you followed the methodology. Now you are giving comparison between the two applications and be able to use that. Isn't that cool? You are able to get this done. Now you have to actually validate what is coming out of it. I actually validate whether it's giving me the right result or if it is not giving the right result, what do? I direct it. Like direction is in my hand. Now improve the prompt. That's exactly what we do here in this case. So that's what, I think it's saying correct. iOS, you do iOS development, React Native or Flutter. Which is correct. By the way, all three are correct because I can validate they are correct here. Either use Kubernetes, ECS or serverless Lambda. Yeah. All three are also correct for me. Now I can copy this and put it in my design document. I'm done. Voila. And now I have a design meeting where I can show this design for everybody. And you look cool afterwards. Yes. This is what people take a long time to do. You are now expert in doing that. What did you do? You spend 30 minutes with me? Yeah, 1 hour? Yeah. Now you know how to deal with these things. Now I'm not going to go through all of them, but you got the idea behind how we are doing these things. Yeah. So you did all these things. Now we need to improve the productivity. At the end, let's talk about productivity. You got 15 minutes. Hey, why not? Rohit is solving so many problems. Let's solve for productivity also. So what happened in productivity? Where are we struck? We are struck with the perspective, and I'm going to show you here in a second. When we go in, and I'm going to show you here something which is important to understand. Okay, let me log in first. It's not going to let me do it otherwise. Now, I'm going to talk about certain parameters you can change behind the scene for some advanced things, okay? So I'm going to talk about that right now. So, for example, we have here grammar correction. Open the playground for this one. So this is the playground for this, which has been given to me. And then, I want to make sure that this is Okay, so I just gave some value. Hello, this is awesome. It's able to give me the right values. Yes, in this case. Now, what it is doing is behind the scene, what it is doing is this is called a system messaging. On the left hand side, this is called a system. Okay, so what we do is we have system instructions given here. Can I add one more instruction to this in the system itself, not outside, in the system itself? Also convert into 10 languages. This is in the system prompt, okay? So now I'm going to call the same thing again, and let's see what happens here. Because I converted it, it's able to now convert into multiple languages and be able to do that. Namaste, yeah, aditya hai, okay. I can read that too here in this case. So now what did it do? It converted into multiple formats for me. Now, can it hallucinate here? Is it possible it can hallucinate? Is it possible? Yeah, it is very much possible that this can hallucinate. So what do you need to do to reduce the hallucination for this one? It will always give me the right results. What can you do? Huh? Set the temperature. Yes. Temperature means if you set the temperature to 0, and I'll talk about that separately. If you set the temperature to 0, it will stop hallucinating. It will give exact results. Now, if you're doing mathematical calculations, set the temperature to 0. That's very important to understand. So there are few things you have to understand when you're trying to do that. Now, summarize for second grader. Now, this is something which I'm learning to do. Okay. Summarize for second grader. Okay. So Rohit, why are you saying that you are doing this thing? Why are you saying that? The reason I say that, this is what I'm being told I need to improve on. I'm a director, I'm a CTO working with CIOs. I need to explain my concept as a second grader. Okay. What that has to do with architecture? Can anybody tell me that? What that has to do with architecture? Non-technical person should be able to understand what you're saying. And that is the biggest problem which everybody has, at least including myself, because I put the jargon in. Nobody understands that jargon. But if you're doing the design patterns, this is one thing I suggest you. If you just do this, you would be able to communicate with anyone, including a CEO and a CIO. This is one skill which we miss. At least I'm working on it. So I use ChatGPT to kind of make mess. Like sometimes fifth grader is fine too, because second grader is a little bit, smaller for us to work with. So why I'm talking about all these things is now we can do transformation layer. We can also create different ways of these data. Now, write the program in HTML and CSS. When I'm writing the program in HTML and CSS, what I'm trying to do is, and it's trying to write the program here. These are the things I need to do. Now, create a basic HTML and then solve the puzzle for yourself. Now, what are you going to do before doing this thing? Create a prompt. What did I do just now here? I create a prompt. Yes. I modify this prompt to make it my own prompt. Yes. And then I ran that prompt. Now it gave me better results. Do chain of thought prompting on top of it. Now, another advanced technique I can say is provide level 3 details for the above. Level 3 means level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 3 means go detail into this and then be able to do that. Okay. Another thing you can add on top of this is, and I'll show you that one, do above step by step. Now, chain of thought prompting is one, step by step is another one. Okay. So I'm talking about another advanced technique where level 4 we are trying to create. It's going to create the level 4. It's not going to give me the answer right away, by the way. Just like the way you write an coding. How do we do the coding? I write a basic class, then I add some more on top of it, then I add some more on top of it. Step by step does exactly the same thing. It's not going to give you the final result, because if ChatGPT is producing something, is it hallucinating or not? This is a great question you asked. How can you prevent that from that? Now you know how to prevent from that. How you come to this conclusion? You ask that. Does that make sense? That is another technique. This is advanced technique you can use. Do it step by step. Now it's able to give me step by step exactly what to do. Now I know, okay. So it's not telling me a final answer with CSS in it. It's giving me, do these things, then you do this, and then you do this thing. Now you can explain somebody, this is the way I need to solve this puzzle. This is the way I came up with the answer. Make sense? Otherwise, if you directly give the answer, it's of no use. I don't know how it came up with the PHP or which technology stack to use. I can do it step by step. Now it's giving me a better result. So for example, in this case, for requirement 9, for this, do step by step. Okay. Now I just put this information in. Now what I'm just doing right now is magic. Now break down the problem into different areas. Goals, millions of users of traffic. Step 2, what are the key decision factors for this? Now this is magic, because as an architect, you will be asked to defend what you are saying. Is that true? When you present something, what's the first thing they ask you to do? Defend it. Tell me why you're saying what you're saying. This is the way to defend it. Voila. That makes you superhuman, because now you know exactly why they chose what they chose. And React Native, Flutter, pros and cons. Now they gave the answer right now. Native has stars. It will give you stars also to solve this puzzle for yourself. This is called step-by-step conclusion for solving this puzzle. Make sense? This changes the game plan. Now you are like expert in solving these problems. Okay? Now immediate, intermediate level. Now you can also go at the advanced level solving these problems also. Now this one is create a single page app. Similar to what we did before, yeah? Create a prompt. I'm always starting with a prompt. Ask the questions to me. Based on the question, create the prompt, and then you start using that. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Voila, you're done. Yeah? So I'm discussing some advanced techniques you can use, scenario based. Your team is transitioning to the microservice architecture. Outline the key considerations and challenges. Because you need to do this, what are you going to start with? Same thing. Create the prompt. Add examine. Add this to the topic. Now I'm adding all the scalabilities and things like that. Now I improved my prompt. Based on this prompt, now I created a better prompt for me. Now, based on this prompt, I want the answer. It's going to give me a better answer. So this is the better answer for me at the end. All right? That's the way you're going to gain a better perspective for yourself. All right? All right. In the end, let's take a look at some advanced strategies for architecture, because architects, we need to do these things. Yeah. So the assignment here is generate a list of block titles. So I'm going to share the assignment with you. Generate a list of block titles on the theme of the developer productivity. The rules, see this here. The rules are titles should be concise. Do not mention any specific programming language. Avoid these things. Titles should be, for example, so and so. Okay. Let me and then print it in the JSON format at the end. Now, what I'm trying to do here is, I'm showing you something called as rules. Okay. When you generate something, you create rules. Why do you create rules? Can anybody tell me? This, huh? Yeah. Giving directions. What else? Huh? Yeah, what to do and what not to do. Okay, these are called as guardrails. Guardrails means you have a child, mother is there, like, you say, hey, you're going out to play, and don't play in dirty water. Don't mess up your clothes because I have to clean that clothes later on. All those things are what? Those are advanced. Mothers already know that, like, hey, this guy is going to go and play in the dirt to protect themselves. Now, this is exactly what we did here. And now I'm going to play this on this one. This is another advanced technique now. I'm putting in the rules. Based on these rules, give me the answer. Okay. you need to know what are your guardrails for all your prompts. This is the way you stop the hallucination which comes in. Okay? That's where you're adding these rules, saying that typically do it for 4 to 5 words. This is another one. Generate a blog post for this one. This is another one. Generate a blog post with an example for this. And you do the formatting also at the end. Yeah? And JSON format. I want it in the JSON format. I give you that at the end. Oh, it gave me in the JSON format what I needed. Voila. Yeah? Now I started doing the driving. I drove very, very fast. Now I'm trying to do few more advanced things. Sentimental analysis. What is sentimental analysis? You look into a prompt. Find out if it's a negative or positive, and give the sentiment for it. So basically you're training it to get the sentiment for the user input what is coming to you. Based on that user input, it is positive. Yeah? Product is bad. This is one of the user input is there. Now based on this product is bad, it's going to analyze. You are adding this, and then now it's going to say that sentiment is neutral or negative or bad. Yeah? So why sentimental analysis? Because you want to find out if something goes wrong, how the product is working. Like, this is what happens. This is what happened. If somebody is saying bad for your product, you need to protect it. Reviews are very important. Product is awesome. This talk was awesome. If you say that, that's great for me. Yeah. Great for everybody. So that means that's what this is talking about. Least to most strategy. Please provide list of programming languages by popularity. Now, what is this? Most probably, this is what is called as probability of the languages. What is more popular? Most likely JavaScript, yeah, or Python. It might return that for this one. So what it is doing is, what we are trying to do is we are trying to get probability as a search in 2025. Now it's able to get it Python. Okay, Python is JavaScript, Java. Okay, good. That is predictable now. Okay. Can I create a diagram like this after that? Can I create a diagram like this? Yeah, you can create a diagram like this. So what did we discuss today? Now we discussed a lot of these things. You can do the chaining. Step number 1, step number 2, we already talked about this. So a lot of things we already discussed. Oh, you can do as agent, you are a full stack developer. By the way, this is going to be happening very soon. Companies don't need software developers. You all know that, yes? So you understand the prompts moving forward is going to really help you drive these things. So they're going to create agents for yourself, and they'll be doing most of the work. So what it is doing behind the scene, what it is doing is, let me show you this one, and then we'll end right here. Okay. So what it is doing is, it's putting everything in a vector. The text is converted into a vector. Then what it is doing is, it's saying that everything, woof, that's a dog, moo, that's a cow, meow, this is a quarterback. Now, they created these vectors, and now what we are saying is Ronaldo, who is an athlete, who likes dogs. My daughter loves dogs. She knows all the breed names. She knows more than me on all the breed names. So I can say that Ronaldo loves dogs. That's the way you're doing k nearest neighbors and generating the next text for yourself. This is used in similarity search. This is used in most of the questions which are being asked from the development perspective also. Okay. So that's pretty much what we do here as an architect. Why I'm talking about this is, the newer skills is, you need to understand AI pipeline, data science to a certain extent, but you need to have more collaborative skills, able to explain as a 5th grader to everybody. If you understand that, you will be golden. All right. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm available for any questions. If you want to try out what I just did, this is what the tiny URL is. tinyurl/chatgpt software architecture. So try this thing out. I think it's going to make you more productive. And as an architect, you will be able to defend yourself when you're working on the solution. I hope you enjoy the session. Have a wonderful day.